All right, so showing off my tumbler, rock tumbler or cleaning brass, whatever you want to put in it. Two bars. The one here is driven by the motor and the pulley, of course. The other one is just an idler. These are 3/4 inch bars. Pretty strong. I forget the exact dimensions, but it's about 2 feet from bearing to bearing. So roughly 2 feet uh, working length. If I remember right, that's a 1/4 horsepower induction motor. It is an induction motor. I think it's 1/4 power or horsepower. 1/4 horsepower induction motor. Um, Operated by a little light switch. I've learned a lot more since then about microcontrollers and writing basic code. Someday I might actually replace this switch for like a timer, little microcontroller. Be kind of cool to do. But anyway, um, for grip, so that these bars, because the metal is quite slick, this is just heater hose, 3/4 inch heater hose that I fit over these bars so that it'll grip whatever barrel you put on this thing. Um, the the distance from the two bars is such that this accommodates a 6-inch diameter barrel quite nicely, but I added some features, of course. I've drilled additional holes so that if I wanted to, I could reposition the idler bar over away from the drive bar so that it would cradle a bigger barrel better without the potential for the barrel to fall off. It's kind of large, which is unfortunate, but it's also really robust. I mean, my goodness, I could probably stand on one of these bars and I don't think it would bend. It's certainly not deform permanently. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. I built the barrel. This is just 6-inch PVC sewer line you get at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever. Put an end cap on one end and a 6-inch to 4-inch reducer, which would have originally extended out further where you'd put the 4-inch pipe in, but I cut that down so that I would be able to get this expansion plug to fit in here. It would not have, the rubber wouldn't have gone down deep enough to make a seal here if I hadn't hacked it down, but this works really nicely. The ribs on the inside to kind of excuse me, the ribs on the inside to kind of grip whatever you're going to put in there is just a 1/2 inch PVC that I ripped lengthwise, cut in half, and I plastic welded it. Plastic welded it with, where is it? That Harbor Freight welder. You could look that up. But it was a challenge because I had to get a total foot length inside a 6-inch diameter and working with a welding rod and learning the technique at the same time. That was fun, but it works really well. I mean, this thing is, the barrel itself is strong enough you could put whatever kind of rocks in there you wanted to. I did it for tumbling brass to clean it in preparation for reloading. But anyway, this is it. I'll put this on there. Originally I was going to build a second barrel, and I made this long enough so I could run 2 batches at the same time. That was the idea. And of course, if I wanted to, spread these out, I could have a bigger barrel running as well. Possible. I haven't really tested this. If I was to put this, shift it over to the wider gapped holes for a bigger barrel, this might still be close enough that this could probably still fit in there. Anyway, that's a kind of a tangent. But I kind of future-proofed it. It can accept much larger barrels. In fact, I could probably quite easily put a 12-inch barrel on this thing with these, a 12-inch diameter barrel with, if I was to shift this bar over. 8-inch to, yeah, this thing is a beast. Anyway, I think I said it's a 1/4 horsepower induction motor. Had to do a little bit of calculation to determine with the given RPM of the motor, 1800 RPM minus slippage for induction motors, which makes it an actual, I think it's like 1700 RPM. The ratio between the two pulleys, keeping in mind the diameter, outside diameter of the rubber hose, and the diameter of the barrel, to get the RPM of the barrel that is reasonable. Anyway, I think I did okay on that. But that's with it going. Of course, it's sitting on this thin metal shelf here. It's really noisy. I take little pieces of rubber, put them underneath the feet, and it quiets it down. But that's the whole thing working. Works quite nicely. And the rubber hose grips this plastic pretty well, especially once you fill it up with water and rocks or brass or whatever it is you're going to put in there. It has no problem, the rubber has no problem driving the barrel. So yeah, that is my tumbler. I didn't have a welder at the time, so I would have welded it, but I think it worked out keeping the frame together with bolts on this. What did I use? 1 1/4 inch? Look, I think that was 1 1/4 inch. Just square tubing. That's all. Anyway, fun.